welcome back to my sanctuary. First of all, I want to thank all of you that gave me such positive feedback on the first video that I made. I was really nervous making it, and so all of your kind comments were so encouraging. I can't even tell you how much it meant to me. It's not easy being a yoga teacher out of work, and for a while I was really kind of floundering around a little bit, so thank you for giving my life purpose again and letting me feel like I'm at least helping, doing meaningful work again. I'm going to start this video off kind of where the first one left off, and I thought today we'd work a little bit on finding balance. I think we're all a little out of whack with everything that's going on. Again, most of this can be done using a chair for assistance. So you can do seated portion sitting in a chair. Firm chair with no arms is the best. And as we work through the balance sequence, feel free to have a chair beside you or in front of you to help with your stability. We're going to settle in with a few deep breaths. So as you draw a deep breath in, sweep your arms up, press down into your sit bones, and then turn your palms and exhale. And then again, breathe in deeply, sweep up. Exhale completely and sweep down. And then take a deep breath in. Suspend your breath in, stretch up into your fingertips, move your shoulder blades down. Draw up through the lower belly. Exhale your arms down. Now if you would like to go through the entire spinal energy sequence, feel free to repeat that portion of the first video. You can fast forward through me talking in the beginning. So we're just going to do a few circles here. We're just going to get the body just a little bit warmed up, get a little energy moving when we work with standing and balance poses. Make a shift, go in the other direction. When we work with standing and balance poses, they're quite stationary. So it's nice to kind of get our circulation and get our energy moving a little bit before we settle into those poses that are often held in stillness and in concentration. So let's move around a few times and then come back to center and moving back and forth. So just a few times. Again, if you want to do the whole spinal energy sequence, it's in the first video. I think it's called Yoga Class 1. I'm going to bring ourselves back into center, and then coming around to where the first video ended, we're going to be coming into table position. And those of you that are using chairs, you can be standing by your chair with your palms in the seat of the chair or on the back of the chair, wherever you're more comfortable. And those of us on the floor are going to come to table. We're going to do a couple kind of dynamic cat-cows here. So we're going to breathe into cow pose, belly down, head up. And then we're going to really push the exhalation. Push from the bottom like you're clearing your lungs. Push from the base of the lungs. Really push that exhalation. And then the breath flows in. And again, we're going to push the exhalation. And the breath flows in. And again, push. And then we'll come back into table. And we'll move through a few cycles of flowing cat, inhaling belly down, head up. Exhaling, tucking the pelvis under, pressing up through cat, and then all the way back, rear end back toward the heels. Bend your elbows to scoop through and come up, and then roll back like a wave. So we're coming into that nice fluid flow. Again, we spent some time with flowing cat in the first video. Those of you that want to keep going with flowing cat, keep going right here, just like this. Those of you that may want to take a flow through downward dog, come to table, tuck the toes, dip the belly, push the floor away. And we may want to move around a little bit. First downward dog of the day. We can be a little stiff and tight. So maybe try bending one knee and pressing the opposite heel down. Encourage the backs of your legs to open up. Just letting the spine lengthen. And then lift up on the balls of the feet, pushing the floor away. Your heels can ease toward the floor. It doesn't matter if they get there or not. If you find that your spine is kind of rounding up a little, try bending your knees and then pushing more into your hands and see if you can get that length in the spine. I'm going to bend the knees to come down and then stretch back into child's pose. So if you were doing flowing cat, we'll take a stretch back to child's pose as well. And then come back into table. Tuck your toes under. We're going to stretch out our feet. So here you're just going to move your rear end back toward your heels, and you'll feel your focus area now is through the toes, the soles, the heels. Just opening up. And you may be getting a wonderful stretch right here. If you are, stay right here. And if you would like a little bit more intensity, come up and sit on your heels. And when you come back into our table, and again, feel free to go through a few cycles of flowing cat or cat-cow, or those of you that would like to come on up into a down dog, we'll lift up. Lift up onto the balls of your feet, bend your knees, and pulse your legs a few times, bending them and straightening them. So we're going to be doing our standing balance poses. So we're bringing some energy into the legs. We're going to be using the legs to support us. So here we're just waking them up, getting some circulation and energy moving. Lift way up on the balls of your feet. Push the floor away. Again, heels ease toward the floor. You may find that you're needing to bend them a little bit to get your spine to lengthen. We're all in different places. And then we'll bend the knees to come down. Take a nice stretch back. Press the pads of your fingers down. And if you were doing the cat-cow or flowing cat here instead of the down dog, again, you'll come into this extended child's pose. Push the pads of your fingers into your mat. Pull back. Give your wrists and shoulders a nice stretch. And then we'll come back to table. Maybe take a downward dog. And then move into plank. So just like you're at the top of a push-up here. And then bring your heart forward. This is a gentle back bend, raised cobra, staying up on the balls of your feet. And then we'll pull belly to spine, returning to downward dog. And then we'll take our knees down and stretch back. And then maybe take that flow one more time. Just nice and smooth, no rush, no hurry. Flowing through table to downward dog. Moving through plank. Maybe take a raised cobra. Or if your body is open for a deeper back bend, come on to the tops of your feet, ease to up dog. And then we'll come back into down. And then from here, you can bend your knees for a table. We're going to be coming up to standing. Some of you may want to just step through from downward dog or go from table. There are many paths to one destination. And we will find our path to mountain as we come standing. And in mountain pose, it looks like we may not be doing very much of anything, but mountain, I really needed the hairdresser before the isolation. God knows where it's going to go. So before, it looks as if we're doing nothing standing in mountain, and we're going to make sure that we have our feet facing forward, that they are even with each other. So you don't want your toes winging out or turning in here. And we want to establish a sense of feeling the earth beneath our feet. So we're pressing down into the contact points, the ball of the big and little toe, the inner and outer heels, the outer edges of your feet. You're really feeling that connection down through those points. As you press those points down, feel yourself drawing energy up through the legs. It feels almost like you're pulling your arches up, you're pulling your kneecaps up. We want to draw the pelvic floor up. We're bringing the muscles in the lower belly up. We're bringing the rib cage up out of the waist. And then as you bring your chin in a little bit and you drop your shoulders, we create length and space through the neck and throat. And then in the back body, we can feel the shoulder blades are moving down. The tailbone is lengthening down, opening up the low back. We come into a place of strength and stability. From here, we'll take a big breath in. Press your feet into the floor. Lift, spread your toes wide. Stretch your toes as wide as they go. And then exhale your arms down. We'll do that again. Big breath in. Press down into the contact points of your feet. Lift and stretch your toes. Stretch your toes as wide as they go. And then exhale and sweep your arms down. And bring the arms straight out and stretch fingertip to fingertip. Arms are active here. They're not just hanging. Reach fingertip to fingertip. Try to really have an experience of your heart line. Feel like your arms begin at the center of your chest. They're radiating out from the heart. From here, we're going to shift the weight into the balls of the feet. And here's where some of you may want to use a chair. You might have a chair beside you, one hand on the chair. You may have two hands. I have my imaginary chair in front of me. We're going to lift the heels. So you're holding onto your chair maybe, or maybe you are keeping your arms extended and we're up on the balls of the feet, hovering here in the balancing staff. And breathe. Keep extending across your heart line. I'm going to ease heels and arms down. Sweep your arms up. Interlace your fingers. Bring your hands so they hover right over the crown. Now find your shoulder blades. Draw your shoulder blades down towards your waistband and then stretch your arms up. Shift into the balls of your feet. Use your chair if you need it. If you feel steady and safe here, lift your heels for tall mountain. And breathe. I'm going to exhale down. And then we're going to float right back to balancing staff. Turn the palms to face up and stretch across the heart. And feel the subtle difference when you change your hand position. Feels a little bit different now. If you feel steady, sweep the palms up. Standing in tall mountain, finding your center. Then we'll open up, heels and arms come down. Take a nice big breath in, press the contact points of your feet down, lift and stretch your toes. Exhale to mountain. From here, we're going to go into a variation on the tree pose. So we're bringing our branches out. One big toe toward the front. Now some of you may stay right here, keeping your big toe lightly on the floor. Just try not to have weight in it. We want to really feel like we're letting the weight sink into the supporting leg. So we're rooting down through that foot. If you feel safe, lift a little. Again, hold the chair if you need it. You might lift more, and you will find that as you work with this pose, the higher and the straighter that you're able to make your leg, the more challenging it is. So depending on how much challenge you want, just do what you can. And then we're going to let it go. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side as our branches come up. Big toe toward the front. And then we'll lift maybe a little. Some of you might be lifting more. Breathing. Just do what you can. No worries, no judgment, no force. We'll let it go. And now we're going to do the same pose, and we're going to add the option. Everything in the class is an option. So we're going to add the option of movement. If you don't feel safe with the movement, don't do it. You can always hold in stillness or stay in mountain. So again, we're going to lift. If you feel steady and safe here, you can try a few sweeps. Balance and motion. And we'll come back to center. I'm going to do the same thing other side. Branches come up. Root down into your supporting leg. Lift. And then maybe we do some sweeps. And then we'll come back to center. Take a big deep breath in, lift up and spread your toes wide. And then when you exhale, bringing the hands to the front of the heart. Settle into your mountain. So as we stand here in the stillness of mountain now, have that sense of the earth beneath your feet. Feel the contact points of your feet rooting down. Feel yourself drawing energy up through your legs and up through the pelvic floor. If you would prefer to work on grounding and centering, feel free to stay in the stillness of your mountain. Those qualities come to us in the quiet strength of mountain. So feeling free to stay right here. If you would like to try coming into tree, feel free to use your chair for support. We're going to shift to one side. And consciously feel like we've moved the center channel of energy over. We're letting everything drop down into the supporting leg as we root into that foot. Use the big toe like a pivot to open the hip. Some of you may stay right here, just in the beginning shape of the pose with your big toe lightly touching the floor. Others might bring the foot in so it's over the ankle, and you could even have your big toe on the floor here a little bit, kind of like the kickstand on a bicycle. And then others might be able to take the foot to the shin. And some of you will be able to take your foot over your knee, placing it along your thigh bone. And if you get your foot to your thigh bone, create a little resistance. As you're standing in your tree, press your thigh bone into your foot, press your foot into your thigh bone. Oh, I'm falling out of my tree here. See, little off balance, right? So we can try that again. Here we go. So again, we're resisting. Thigh bone's pressing into the foot. Foot's pressing into the thigh bone. We breathe. You can keep your hands at your heart, or you can take them overhead. And then as we release our tree with our exhalation, we'll return to the stability of our mountain. Take a nice big breath in here. Lift and stretch your toes. Exhale. Bring the hands into the heart. Give yourself a moment. Find your center. Find your roots. Find your connection to the earth. Rebalance. Feel free to stay here or shifting to the other side. Same thing, big toe like a pivot. And either the big toe stays here or foot comes over the ankle, or it comes up along the shin, or it comes up over the knee. And then we create a little resistance. So the thigh bone presses into the foot. Foot presses into the thigh bone. Hands can stay at the heart, or take them overhead. And breathe. As we release our tree, we'll come back. Say, I'm off balance. Even yoga teachers are losing it. So as we come back into our mountain, we're going to take a nice big breath in, lift and stretch your toes. Exhale to sweep down. Take a nice deep breath into back bend. And then open up, follow the heart. And we'll reverse out to come up. Return to mountain. We can release the hands down. Finding yourselves steady, centered, grounded into our mountain. Connection of rooting to the earth. Standing in stillness, quiet strength. And then we're going to spin the palms so they look away from each other. And bring the arms up. Coming into volcano. Root down into your feet, press up into your hands. Move your shoulder blades down. Next breath in, press down more into your feet, lengthen out of your low back, get up out of your hips. When you begin to come forward, now those of you that are jackknives in full standing forward bend, feel free to go all the way in. Everyone else, I suggest you stop about a fourth of the way in and just see how it feels. So what we want to be aware of as we move deeper into a forward fold like this is that we're hinging from our hips here. The back is kind of moving like a lever. It's nice and flat at this point. As you press the tops of the thigh bones back, see if you can stretch a little bit more through your lumbar spine. Now, if you're getting a good stretch here, your focus area, you should begin to feel the heels to the sit bones. That's the area we're going into. There shouldn't be any strain on your back. Your body's feeling okay with it. Try the half position. See if you can take your spine parallel to the floor. Here, you're going to feel more energy going through the backs of your legs. So you're getting more opening. Heels to sit bones. That area in the body can hold a lot of tension, especially the space from the backs of the knees up to the sit bones in that hamstring area. That area can get really, really tight, congested, and can hold a lot of tension. So when we're in these kinds of poses, it's like we're letting that space in the body exhale. Again, you're just seeing how it feels. If your body is giving you the green light to go deeper, you can go deeper. Really feel yourself getting into those long muscles and nerves. Your knees can have a little bit of softness in them. You don't want to feel locked. Now, wherever you go with this pose, even if it's leaning in just a little bit, release your head and neck. Just let the weight of your head gently decompress your neck. The yogis teach that we carry our burdens through the upper back and the shoulders, and when we're in these positions, we can kind of feel ourselves letting any burdens, any weight we've been carrying around, just letting it roll away now, releasing it. One more deep breath here. And now soften the knees, and especially if you went deeply into the pose, come up nice and slow. If you asked your body to do that big, deep fold, come up slowly as you realign your spine and roll your shoulders back. Let your head come up last. Take a big, victorious breath in as you lift up and stretch your toes. Exhale to mountain. We're going to finish up with another flowing sequence. We're going to do a few cycles of the rejuvenation flow for circulation and energy. Again, we were holding those somewhat stationary poses. So now we'll just move a little energy with the rejuvenation flow. Breathing in, sweep your arms up. And then stretch and reach into forward bend. Breathe in, sweep your wings open and lift. Exhale, fold. And now bend your knees and propel yourself up. Exhale the length of your spine. Take a big deep breath in, sweep. Oh, stretch and reach for your forward bend. Breathe in, your wings lift you, opening. Exhale and fold. And now bend the knees and push into the floor. Come up, arms wide open. Exhale the length of the spine, big breath in. Breathing out, folding. Breathing in, the wings open. Exhale. Bend the knees, propel yourself up. Exhale, breathing in. And out. And in. And out. Bend the knees, push into the floor, come up. And exhale, breathe in. And out, and in, and out, and bend the knees, up we go, and exhale. And we're going to go a couple more times, just go at your own pace. You can go more vigorously, you can go very slowly and meditatively, you can decide you've had enough and you don't want to do anymore. It's all good, it's all good. Move with your breath. One more time through. And we're going to finish with the hands in front of the heart. Release to mountain. Standing in mountain. Nice and tall. Face relaxed. From here, we're going to bring ourselves to seated. We're going to quiet down with a little slow, deep breathing. And then we'll be finishing up the video here. So as you bring yourself to seated, and you could be seated in a chair as well, take a big, deep breath in. Take the arms up overhead. Turn palms to face up. Breathe in and lengthen. Press down into the sit bones and up into the hands, and as you exhale, nice side stretch. And we'll come back up. Breathe in, press into your hands, push down into your sit bones. Exhale. And lift. Breathe in, press to the sky. Exhale, sweep your arms down, and take the hands into the mudra of wisdom, touching the thumb and the index finger. Hands are going to rest on your legs. Shoulders soft. Bring the chin in a little bit, and allow your eyes to softly close. From behind your closed eyes, take the gaze up and in towards your brow point. Begin to relax into your breath. Just going to do a few cycles of long, slow, deep breathing. This just settles the body down from the activity of the yoga. So long, slow, deep inhalation. Long, slow, complete exhalation. Try to hold the focus up and in with your eyes. And just for a few more cycles, try to let your mind stay focused on your breath. Follow that journey in and out. Feel that cool flow coming in. Feel that warm flow exhalation as it takes away anything that needs to go. Making space for that next fresh prana-filled inhalation. And as you complete the cycle that you're on, we'll bring the hands into prayer mudra in front of the heart and bow your head. Draw your senses in, become still. You may choose to hold this moment of peace and stillness for yourself. You might take the time here to offer a prayer out for someone. With your palms together now, draw your deepest breath in. Bring your arms up. Take your hands right up over the crown of your head. And then exhale down in a big, wide arc. And breathe in and sweep your arms up. Exhale, hands to the front of the heart. And may we hold peace in our hearts, have peace in our homes, and may peace prevail on earth. Namaste. And this concludes the yoga part of this video. I would suggest, if you are able to take a little time just to lie flat on your back for a few minutes, let the yoga integrate into your body. Give yourself a little Shavasana. I do plan to do a guided Shavasana video later on, and I've been trying to keep these fairly short, 20 minutes to a half hour. So if you would like longer videos, you can let me know. I may try to do a full class and just post it at the times that I normally teach. But we can see how that works. Again, this is all new to me, and I know it's new to you too, and I thank you so much for coming and checking these out in my little sanctuary. I hope you've been able to create one for yourself. This really is just the corner of a guest room in an office. But I love it in here. It's just, I come in here, I'm instantly calm. So things you can do, the salt lamp is nice to have. It's not necessary. Smudging with a little sage clears the air. Maybe you might have some favorite incense. Keep a spiritual book in your space. Maybe you like to read the Bible. I know the churches and things, a lot of them have suspended services, and some of you may really miss that, but you can kind of create time for your own spiritual practice if you like to read the Bible or some other type of scripture, anything that this is an amazing book. This is called Love Poems from God, and 12 Sacred Voices from the East and West. And it brings me so much peace. I can just open it almost anywhere. And sometimes I'll just copy it into my journal and contemplate it. And I'll read one of the poems. This is from the Sufi poet Rumi. You probably have heard of him. Especially if you're in the yoga world. He's very cool. This poem is called The Silkworm. I stood before a silkworm one day, and that night my heart said to me, I can do things like that. I can spin skies. I can be woven into love that can bring warmth to people. I can be soft against a crying face. I can be wings that lift, and I can travel on my 1,000 feet. Throughout the earth, my sacks filled with the sacred. And I replied to my heart, Dear, can you really do all those things? And it just nodded yes in silence. So we began, and will never cease. I'm going to leave you with that. Be well, be safe, and thank you so much.